Good evening, everybody. This is day 8 of the trip. The lighting here is very bad right now. It's quite getting a little bit dark. So we'll see what spirit message is today. Just give me one moment. It's relaxing. I see a wave, an energy wave. I'm kind of riding it. Going like this. It's a constant wave, equally spread apart. Starts to speed up, and it turns into a straight line, kind of like warp speed. I'm going, like in Star Trek. Going through a tunnel. All I see is white streaks all around me, going left, right, up, down. It's not a straight line, it's kind of going all over the place. Now I'm spinning really quickly. Spinning, spinning. And it comes to a stop, and I'm in space. I kind of go off to the side a bit. It was like I was in an actual capsule. I climb out of the capsule and just push it aside. I'm standing in space, floating there. Just floating in space. I see something coming in the distance. It looks like a comet. It comes right at me and I grab it as it goes by. Obviously impossible to do in real life. I grab the comet and I'm holding on to it. It isn't very big. It's not even really a comet, it's just a bright orb in space. But it does have a trail of energy behind it. It's about the size of, what's the best way to describe how big it is? A beach ball would be a big beach ball. I'm holding on to it. Amazingly, I can. It's going super fast. I'm just holding on. My fingers start to slip a bit, but I readjust them. When I slip off it, the orb stops immediately. I bump into it again. It no longer has a trail, it's just an orb in space. I hold on to it. It starts to vibrate. I start to spin, holding on to it. It spins me super fast. I'm spinning clockwise. which goes against most motions of the universe. It just continues to spin me faster and faster until there's a rift form in front of us and we shoot into it, a tear in space. We go into that super fast again. This time I notice there's actual places to hold on to it, handles that are formed so it's easy to hold on to now. I go into an Earth-like atmosphere. Now I'm going through blue sky and clouds. It's heading straight down, full blast. I let go of it just before it crashes into the ground. There's an explosion that blows back at me. It goes, I just allow it to go through me. I'm standing around the crater right now, just looking down at this massive hole. How such a small thing can make such a big hole. It's incredible. It grows legs, like metal type legs. Kind of crawls out of the hole, shines the light at me. And turns into me, a version of me. He shakes my hand. He says, hello. How are you doing? I shake his hand and I say, I'm doing fine. And you? He doesn't answer me. He just looks away. Very robotic. He starts to walk away and then turns around, looks at me again, says, are you not coming? So I follow him. We're walking along, just around a trail, kind of in a mountainous area, but very low mountains. We're on the top and we're kind of just walking along right now. He looks back at me. He asks me how long I've been here for. I said, I really do not know. I thought I just got here. He looks behind me and there's literally the same scene playing multiple times behind me. So in other words, almost every second I've been here, there's another part of me that's here doing the same thing. It's really weird. I can hear all their voices. And then as I move forward, they're asking me a question of how long I've been here. It's very unusual. And they just keep repeating that motion in time. So every time I walk forward, it is repeating itself. It's like every time I move, it creates a new version of myself. Every time I speak, it creates a new version of myself. Every time I move an inch, it creates a new version of myself. And I'm seeing this when I turn around. I look ahead, I don't see anything except what's ahead. A mountainous scene. And so I just keep walking, and every time I turn around, there's a new version of myself being created. So what do you think of this? And he points behind me. What do you make of that? He says. Everything you do creates a new version of yourself. So how many different yous is there in the universe? Is there just one, or is it trillions? And he just turns around and starts walking again. So I follow him. I've been shown similar things before, but in a different way. That there's trillions of lives happening simultaneously, trying to develop or to reach the same goal. And in some cases, when they don't make it or they die, that part reflection echoes back into the rest of them that are still living, showing you when you think about a specific thing to do, you can actually sometimes see the outcome of that decision. He shakes his head and says, yes, that is very true. It doesn't happen to everyone, just a few. But everybody has the capability of listening and hearing. You just gotta learn how to. So I ask you again, how many is there of you? And I say, way too many to count. He laughs. His robotic is changing now into more of a humanistic version of himself. It's like every time he's with me, he seems to be becoming more humanoid, to the point where he looks and acts kind of just like me. So what am I, he says. Am I one of you? Or I am something else entirely? I do not know. You seem robotic at first, but now you are not. So what makes life, life, he says. What makes something alive? If I can become from a robot into you, because all it is energy. What makes a human? It's spirit, it's soul. So what happens if spirit goes into a robot? Is it not alive? It's a makeup of atoms, just like your body is. So why can't anything become alive if a spirit enters it? If I am a robot walking down the street and I have a spirit enter my body, am I not alive? I would say you would be alive. The spirit, the soul, is what makes us human, or makes us alive, a better way of putting it. Without it, we are an empty shell, waiting for something to take its place. Very true, he says. So I am you. No, you are a version of yourself. If my soul, a part of my soul went into you to create you, then you would be me, in a way different, but because all the people behind me are not me, because they made a different choice, or a choice that is past what I am now. Every time I make a decision, I become a different part of myself. So there never can be just one of me, except me. I should say there can never be more than one of me. I'll always be me, because every decision I make creates me, a new version of myself. And all the other versions out there, if they continue going and living by making a different decision, or if it's a past version of myself, it is still not me, because it does not have all the knowledge and wisdom and understanding that I do, all the experiences. It still would not be me. It'd be a different version of myself. If I go back 50, I'm not that old. If I go back when I was a child, say 40 years ago, would I be the same person that I am today? My thoughts would be different. My actions would be different. My knowledge would be different. I go when I was 30, would I be the same person? I'd be a younger version of myself, but I definitely would not be the same person. So you can never be more than just you, no matter, so because every single time you make a decision or a thought process changes, you become a different version of yourself. That is the human experience. So how do we understand or even comprehend all of this? He looks at me and he says, you cannot. How can you possibly understand every single scenario that happens in your life? Every time you make a decision to create a new version of yourself, how is your mind even capable of understanding anywhere near the version of that? Not only that, the universe itself is every time you create a new decision, does it create a new universe? Does it create a new earth? How is your mind capable of understanding that? Your physical mind. Your spirit is infinite, never dies, always striving for more knowledge. Your physical mind is not capable of understanding, and it's not supposed to. So what is the point of being human? To learn, to be the best you can be, to love, to do the best you can do in this world, and to try to work together to change the world to be a better place. But what is better? That's the question. Your understanding of better is different from another person's. That is true. You'd be better off saying that you strive to be the best that you can be. That's a different version, isn't it? If you try to be the best that you can be, to do the best that you can do, to make the best of you, that is what life is about. That's what life is about. So if you change yourself, you change everything around you, which then changes the world. However, the goal in life is to be the best that you can be. The one that's looking in the mirror at you right now. That is the one. That's what life is about. And how you choose to live life is really up to you. But you have set a goal out for yourself. Go within yourself to find out what that goal is and achieve it. Then you will have achieved what you were meant to do in this lifetime. That is all there is to be shared today. That was a message of Spirit to every one of you to be you is what life is really about. Don't try to be somebody else. Be yourself. Be true to who you are. Because that is the ultimate goal in life. And again, what else is there? Because if you are true to yourself, then you do exactly what you are supposed to do. Are you true to yourself? If you are not, ask yourself why. Are you afraid? Are you fearful? Or are you doing what other people want you to do? There's so many of us that follow the masses because they think it is the best way to fit in. Doing things every day that they don't want to do. When are you going to live for yourself? When are you going to be true to yourself? Because that is what life is all about. Life is about being you. Because when you're you, you are happy. You are at peace. And the people you bring around you will also feel that. Thank you very much, everybody. I'm Joseph Bradley from Amen Ross. And that was a message from Spirit to you. Thank you very much and have a great day.